I don't know, some of you know a lot about Emile Henry. I don't know where you come in. And Eric, and Eric. But,
we're all pretty veteran.
Okay, so I'll go kind of quickly on some of the earlier stuff just to fill in the blanks, or just to give you a review. Emile Henry started in 1850. It's a family-owned business, 5 generations. The current president is a guy named Jacques Henry. I like to brag and say I think he's the most knowledgeable guy in ceramic today, and I think that the flame top is a testament to that. It was 7 years in the making, and he has a full-time laboratory, and they're working all the time with 3 guys. It's not a contract factory in Thailand or China or something like that. It's made where it's made in France. France is in the Burgundy region of France. I always like to know where I am, so I like to travel with a map. So there you get to see Burgundy, the Burgundy region, known for wine and food and great chefs and great restaurants. About 5 hours from Paris and 1 hour from Lyon. The other thing that Burgundy, France is known for is the clay. Burgundy clay. Burgundy clay has a very high mineral content. What that gives you in terms of a benefit is it holds heat very long and it distributes heat very well. It's a really good distributor of the heat. So the product itself, the natural ingredients are the best that you can get. It's just not some basic slip that you find in some of these Asian countries. And then on top of that, the next thing is kind of a heady thing that I'm going to talk to you about, which is called the Ceradon process, which is on that card. Jacques Henry has been the president since about 1982. When he came aboard, they started selling in the United States. They had a lot of breakage. He's like, what the heck do the Americans do with this stuff? Man, it's crazy. So he came over here, he investigated, he found out that everything needs to go in the dishwasher, that we're really tough on dishes. We're in France. In 1982, not everybody had a dishwasher to begin with. Everybody had 1 or 2 pieces, and they take good care of it, and they're gentle, and da-da-da-da-da. They're not like we are. So he had to reinvent the whole thing. Something that he called the Ceradon process. It's a proprietary manufacturing process. It goes from everything. It goes from the slip, which is the original ingredients. The slip is made out of burgundy clay, sand, water, and secret ingredients. So I can't tell you, of course, I'd have to kill you. Right?
And just going back. Give us at least one. Just give us one secret.
I even got a little visual. There's the town. So everybody in the town works at the factory, and their fathers did, and their fathers' fathers did. And the reason I show you all this is so you see that this is a crafted product, it's an artisanal product, which Williams-Sonoma is known for, as opposed to, you know, assembly line somewhere in a foreign country. Hey, can you guys make us some pots? It's not like that at all. So the basics of the process was burgundy clay, sand, water, and non-clay products, special recipe to make the slip. Then from there it's put into a mold. It's a plaster mold. You know why it's a plaster mold? The plaster absorbs the moisture, the water, out of the slip. Each one of these molds can only be used 100 times, and then it needs to be thrown away because it's absorbed so much water that it crumbles. And then each one is handcrafted. Another thing that Jacques said in this Ceradon process is, you know, one thing negative about the American Revolution is it's assembly line, everybody puts on one bolt, and that's all they got to do. I just do the bolt, man. I don't know if it works or if it doesn't work. In his factory, the one guy's responsible for everything. So if he's going to make that pie dish, they call down and they say, Pepe, you're going to make pie dishes today. First thing he's got to do is get 50 or so of these plaster casts, put them up on a rail like this, put them together, squish them all together so they're tight and they won't leak, pour the slip in, wait up to 45 minutes, a pie dish is about 45 minutes, for the water to be absorbed into the plaster cast. Then after, depending on the size, some smaller, some larger, he opens them up, he takes each one out. When this one comes out, it's very soft, like Play-Doh. And it's very, so he could easily break it, so he has to be careful with it. He's got a dry sponge, he sponges the whole thing, get rid of all imperfections. He's got a little knife, he cuts off any of the bad places. When he's completely happy, he stamps it with his mark. His little bracelet, that's right. He's got his own little bracelet.
If Pepe's doing it, where's Pepe's mark?
This is you can't see the first one, but it's A6 is the last 2 letters. This is the date that it was made. It was made
October something.
Yeah, October 3rd. And this is the SKU number. So those are the 3 numbers that are on the bottom. So after Pepe does that, then he puts it in the dryer, and then from there goes to the guy who glazes it. Glazes are made of particles of glass, water, and iron oxide. You can't use organic color because it would burn up in the kiln at 2,000 degrees. This is a whole, as I said, this is a whole natural product, and that's huge these days with, you know, lead and all this kind of stuff. This all came from the ground. There's nothing synthetic. So then it gets glazed. Glaze is made of particles of glass, as I said, iron oxide and water. After it's glazed, it goes into a kiln. And the kilns are 100 yards long, and I just happen to have a picture of the kiln here. There's the glazing. See, after they glaze it, they put it on these big slates on an assembly line trolley that goes right into this kiln, which is 100 yards long. It goes in at room temperature, comes out at room temperature. During this time, what happens is the glass melts, the body melts, the glass glaze melts, the body of the product and the glaze fuse together very deeply, and it shrinks. They shrink at the same rate. So, then it comes out. So what you have, so that's all the Ceradon process. And the other way to explain the Ceradon process that you see here is there's all different kinds of ceramic products. On the one end you got porcelain, the other end you got earthenware. Like in a lot of things, you want the most pluses with the least amount of negatives. Like if you're going to go to a car, you want good trunk space, you want fast 0 to 60, you want roomy back seats, and good leg room. But you can't have it all. The bigger your car is, the slower it is from 0 to 60. Well, that's how I explain the Ceradon process.